So on this show, we talk about self-development often and becoming the person that you'd admire and the person that you'd be proud of. Well, what I want to talk about today is opinions and the opinions of other people and the opinions of people that we care about and how other people's opinions can often influence our decisions of what we do and we don't do. How many times in your life have you wanted to do something, you've told somebody about it, whether this is someone you care about, don't care about, it doesn't matter who the person is, you've told somebody about it and they say, I don't think that's a good idea. Or they say, like, I get it, but maybe do this instead or do it like this. Or they give you an opinion, but that opinion ultimately deters you from doing the thing. We've all had it. Every single one of us have been victim to this. Especially when that person is someone you care about and you value their opinion, then you're more inclined to listen to it. But the one thing that we often forget about is there's one opinion above all that matters the most. There's one opinion that matters most above anything else, and that's yours. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person that you need to impress. You're the only person that you need to make proud. Because you are the only person that you have to live with 24/7. No matter where you are, wherever you go, no matter what time of the day it is, you're always with you. So it makes sense to always make that person proud or always keep that person happy because you're stuck with them. Now, a lot of you are probably sat here thinking you've lost your fucking marbles, mate. But if you're thinking properly and you're having actual thoughts, progressive thoughts, then it should always be a dialogue. It should always be a back and forth. There should never just be one voice talking in your head. There should always be two voices. And usually the one voice is your strength, right? Is that voice that is encouraging and is promoting strength and courage and discipline and progress. And the other one is your bitch voice, right? The other one is the snooze your alarm, go on, have an extra 15 minutes in bed, or eat that, it doesn't really matter. Or you can afford to go over your macros by 300 calories today, that's fine. Or you can afford to skip that workout. There's always a dialogue. There's always a battle between what you're supposed to do and the positive voice in your head, and then this little bitch voice that is always trying to rationalize why you don't have to do what you're supposed to do. And the thing is, it doesn't matter who gives you an opinion, right? It doesn't matter who tells you what to do or what not to do. If you don't listen to your conscience, if you don't listen to that voice inside your head that is telling you what's right, if you're not in alignment with that, then that's going to eat you up more than anyone else's opinion of what you do is going to. I've been quite fortunate that I've never really fell victim to other people's opinions, in the sense of, if that person doesn't really hold a position in my life and I don't really care for them, then I don't really care what they say about me. I never really have. The people who I care about and who are closest to me in my life, I value their opinions, so I care when they have something to say. But for others, not so much. But I came to a realization a while ago that I spent a lot of my life so far, a lot of my years trying to please others, and I did things in my life because I wanted other people to see me a certain way. But in doing so, I was always going against the one person who mattered most, which was me and my own thoughts and my own conscience. And I've realized in life, I am happiest when I am living up to the expectations that I've set for myself. When I'm in alignment with my conscience, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That is when I'm happiest. It's very hard to explain unless you've experienced it. But when you're in alignment, which means you're doing everything the way you're supposed to, you're not breaking, right? You're not doing anything you're not supposed to. There's no vices, there's no bad habits. You're exercising, you're hitting your macros, you're developing, you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. there's just a different fucking feeling to that. And it's not until you've experienced doing that for a while that the alternative is worse than death. I would rather die. I'd rather not wake up tomorrow than to break. Because every time you break and every time you compromise with yourself, you have to live with that. And no one sees it. It's the quiet battle that all of us deal with, right? Which is, no one else will know, but I'll fucking know. I will know. I will know that I snoozed the alarm. I will know that I ate the food and went over my macros when I shouldn't have done it. I will know that I didn't try my best. There's nothing worse than that. So my approach to life is very simple now. I'm only out to please one person, and that is me. That is myself. I never want to lose my own respect of myself. It's the hardest respect to earn is your own. It's the hardest. I don't care about anything else. As long as I'm living up to the man that I say I am and I say I want to be, and I am in alignment with my thoughts and my actions, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm unbreakable. There's nothing that can stop me. So the lesson to be taken from this is, if you're in alignment and you're always living up to your potential and you're always not breaking and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you are literally untouchable. And a lot of you right now are suffering. Are suffering with your own mind. The battle in your brain of not having a purpose, feeling hopelessness, being sad, depressed, lonely, anxious. And this is the fix. Because all of those emotions are your reminders. It's your conscience trying to remind you and trying to wake you up and say, the reason you feel like this is because there are things that you're not doing that you're supposed to be doing. So every time you feel anxious, every time you have a bout of depression or you don't feel good, that's a hint. It's a hint from your conscience, right? It's a hint from upstairs that you need to get to work. Have you ever known anybody who have been stacking wings every single day? Who are depressed? Who are not happy? Who are sad? It's not possible. It is physically impossible to go train really hard, exercise, work out, get a sweat on, and be sad. It's not possible. So, you need to make you proud. And the only way you're going to do that is by never missing. The only way you're going to do that is by never failing. By never compromising. Never negotiating with yourself about your non-negotiables. The reason it's called a non-negotiable is because we don't think about it, we just do it. There is not a single thought in our minds that this is potentially something that we don't have to do. It's non-negotiable. Whether it's snowing, whether your house just fucking burned down, whether you're homeless on the street, it's non-negotiable, we do it. I put up a story on Instagram today about how I could literally be homeless and I'll find a way to exercise. And a lot of people thought it was silly that I was making such a big fuss over a single workout or a single bout of exercise. But it only takes one crack. It only takes one day where you snooze the alarm, one day where you don't follow your macros, one day where you don't do whatever you're supposed to do. It only takes one day for that to snowball into 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Our brain is very smart at rationalizing. You go over your macros, right, for the day, and then your brain goes, well, because we did that, we can also probably do this, right? We went over on the macros, so we can also skip the workout today. And then before you know it, it snowballed into something that you can't control anymore. And then you've lost your momentum. Because momentum in the game of self-development is very important. And it can either work for you or it can work against you. If it's working for you, great, right? But it can just as equally work against you. Momentum is not biased. So use it to your advantage. Because we all know, for every day that you don't go to the gym, it becomes harder to get out of that thought pattern. For every day that you smoke the cigarette, it gets harder to stop. For every day you eat the bad food, it gets harder to turn that around. It is a momentum game. So you have to break the cycle as soon as possible. Because that's all that really matters, to be quite honest. It's waking up every single day knowing that you've given it your best. Because it is a silent torture to go throughout life knowing that you could do more and you're not doing it. Knowing that you could be prouder of yourself, but you choose every single day to let yourself down. There's nothing worse than that. I'm telling you from experience. I love the quote, most men live a life of quiet desperation. And they do. They go through life not speaking about it because we don't, and living in this silent torture of knowing that they could be so much more and they're not. Knowing that they should be exercising and they're not. Looking at their tits, looking at their pot bellies, going, I don't want this, but I don't have the courage to change it. Don't be that person. Don't be the person who wants to change but doesn't take daily action to change. Don't be the person who wishes they could be more but is not willing to pay the price for that outcome. Don't be the person who won't be a role model to their kids. Don't be the person who doesn't have stories to tell of how they did difficult things to become who they are. Don't be that person. Be the person who can inspire others to do the same. Be the person who is bulletproof and who can confidently say, I am the person I say I am. I am this type of person because I have got evidence to show that I am this person. Don't be a victim. Be the person who is going to inspire others to follow in your footstep. Tell such a good story that people look at you and go, I want to do that too. Because remember, it's not about you. It's about inspiring others and changing other people's lives. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, it's going to be, there's only one person's opinion that matters most, and that's yours. There's only one person's respect you need to earn, and that's your own. That is what is most important. It's not letting you down. Because you are your toughest critic. And if you lose your respect, it's very hard to get it back. Because you are the only person who knows all of your darkest, dirtiest secrets. All the stuff that people don't see, but you know. So it takes an extreme amount of work to prove to yourself you are the person you say you are. Because your brain will always try and find a way to play tricks on you. So you need to stack such a big list of proof that you become undeniable. Make yourself proud.